house. The creak of the door between the front courtyards of the western and central residences would announce noble uncle's arrival. He never glanced in the direction of the orphan, but I ducked below the windowsill anyway. Then I would raise my head and peek out the window to watch him stroll up to the main house where my mother waited. His voice carried over the stillness of the night air, frequently gruff and impatient. Then my mother's placating voice, sweet and high, eventually lilting into a song accompanied by her liuqin. I imagined her dexterous fingers on the four-stringed instrument, plucking out a cascade of notes. I would stumble back to the pallet bed and fall asleep to faraway music, plum blossom melodies, ambush from 10 sides, or spring snow, her favorite. Sometimes my mother went away for a day or two, taking with her the liuqin carefully wrapped in a felt bag, extra strings for the instrument tucked in her tunic pocket. I didn't like her being away, but we had to do as noble uncle wanted because otherwise we wouldn't be allowed to live in the western residence anymore. "Why must you go?" I remembered crying when I was younger. "Why can't I go too?" "Noble uncle wants me to play at a banquet," she said, pushing the hair off my face. "We must obey noble uncle or he will throw us out." That was our fate, should we ever displease noble uncle. I was vague on the exact consequences of becoming homeless, but I obeyed the fear in my mother's voice and stayed inside the western residence's courtyard, making not a single sound while she was gone. When my mother returned, she would have treats tied up in her scarf, sugared walnuts, dried sour plums, or bright orange kumquats, sesame candies, or thin wafer cookies. I became used to these brief absences. She always came back. One evening there was no liuqin music or singing. All I could hear were loud words and weeping.
"I can barely afford to feed my own family!"
Noble uncle's voice slashed across the courtyard, filled with rage and something else. Anguish.
"You think you can solve my problems with the pittance you earn playing that bit of wood, when I must sell the home of my ancestors?"
In the morning, my mother's eyes were red and swollen. There was broken crockery and 2 empty jars of wine in the kitchen. She returned from the central residence with our breakfast, 2 steamed buns. "That's all, Jialing," she said. "The cook gave me these and then he left. Here, you can have both. I'm not hungry." I gnawed on a bun and stood beside the mirror while she put up her hair. When she opened her cedarwood box, all the jeweled hairpins were gone. The partition that held her earrings was empty. Only the carved sandalwood combs remained. I looked around the room. The chair she used as a stand for her liuqin was pushed into a corner, and an unfamiliar shape rested on its seat. I ran over to take a look. It was the instrument, its willow wood neck broken. My mother began going over to the central residence every day. "The Fengs can't afford any servants right now, Ling Ling," she said. "If we're to stay, I must do more to earn our keep. I must do their cleaning and cooking." We still ate by ourselves in the western residence. My mother put meals on the table for the Fengs, and afterward the Feng women would take the dirty dishes to their kitchen, where my mother would do the washing up. "Those ladies have never carried a dirty plate until now," she said. "They embroider nicely, but they should prepare for worse." What worse meant, I didn't know. Once, I dared to creep through the door between courtyards while my mother cooked supper for the Feng women. I stole into the main reception hall, where the Feng's ancestors stared out from stiff portraits, stern and disapproving. I peered through the windows of the main house and saw noble uncle's family. There were 2 women and 5 girls, the girls all older than me. The eldest of them looked directly at the window and caught me staring in, but she didn't say anything, just gazed back with an air of sad resignation. Then one day, the central residence wasn't quiet. We could hear men's voices.